we get this on recorded. Okay, cool. I think we're about ready to go. What's going on, my friends? Happy Tuesday. I hope y'all are doing well. Today, I wanted to start off by showing you guys something interesting that I found. So I was doing this search on Facebook. I was just looking up the word Next Life, just out of random curiosity, and I found this really interesting thing. Basically, this is the website that popped up for me. So Next Life, okay, I'm like, what is this? So as I scroll down, it's just like, how would you like a virtual you to live on and be accessible to your loved ones after the corporeal you passed? Corporeal, I'm not very good with words. Corporeal you passed away. So how would you like a virtual person, a virtual husband if your husband passed away? We're going to try to find out if that's possible using your corporeal profile from big data, and by applying predictive analytics, determine if we can create and engage a virtual you after the real you vanishes. So that's a thing. I just find it hilarious that that's Next Life. So I read this and I've heard of this concept before, and actually they did an episode on, if you watch Black Mirror, you may have seen this episode where that literally happens. Like, there literally is like this, basically this woman's husband dies, and then she gets connected with this, her friend recommends this software that's basically the artificial intelligence, does the whole thing, basically takes all you provide them all the data that you have regarding your loved one, like any sort of tapes or videos that you have of him talking or them speaking, literally everything that they could identify with or use to gather information about this person, and then basically this AI learns from that and then is able to speak, talk, and act like this person. And so at first it's like just an AI, it's just like you're just talking in your phone, you're just talking to someone on the phone, but then it moves into like it's an actual human robot. But anyways, so you're literally living with your deceased husband who's a robot. So I just found that so crazy interesting that this is something that someone actually wants to start. I don't think it doesn't seem like something that's at first I thought when I was watching this, reading this website, I was like, there isn't much money going in. It doesn't look like there's much, this person isn't too serious about what they're doing. But then I saw this video, which didn't change too much for me, but I just thought it was freaking hilarious. So they made a video about this too, demonstrating the product. Probably could be a little bit better demonstration. I think it's definitely more awkward than it is. I don't think it actually helps the product idea, but you get the point. So I'm just gonna play this for you. It's about 3 minutes. It's pretty hilarious. You guys got to see this. So all right, let's start this off.
Hello, James.
Faces recognized. Access granted. Hello, Mary. Hello, David. Hello, Kathy. How are you today?
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Daddy.
Hi, James. We're fine. Do you know what day it is?
Yes. Today is our wedding anniversary. Married in 1995 at my parents' farm in Pennsylvania, and we honeymooned at Hilton Head.
Okay,
Yes.
the robot voice just kills it for me.
I remembered that. What do you remember most?
Abundant experimental sexual activity.
Oh, okay, moving on to another subject.
I have a lot of hits on sexual activity, that being possessed.
Okay, James, we're all done talking about this subject. Next subject. David's soccer coach suggested that he join a travel soccer team right after graduation. This would mean that he's traveling to regional tournaments for at least a year. My concerns are that it would cost at least $1,000 a month, and he'd be away from home a lot, and then he may not even go to college. What do you think?
Accessing sentiment analysis. Value of college education. Earning ability. happiness,
I like they go through his thinking process.
social class.
I don't know if that helps. It
I
seems
think
way
that
less human that way.
formal schooling is a good opportunity to learn people's skills, but that it is important to return for a college degree. Soccer is a good way to learn how people compete. A college education usually allows you to make more money over time. My sentiment percentages on this question are approximately 60% for break, 40% for continuing straight to college.
If that's how this guy was, he's very,
Thank
very
you.
weird dude. But okay.
One more question. I was offered a promotion. This would mean we move to Florida. The
Yep.
kids don't want to move.
Ask all your
Thoughts?
greatest issues.
Is
All
it
your
a
problems
higher
are solved.
salary? Will it advance your career? You should prioritize a life that shows ability and money reward. People will like and respect you, including the kids. Parents and children eventually move away from each other. My view is that you should go, unless you have other variables to tell.
Thank you, James. That's all the questions I have for now. We love you.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Dad.
To the extent I can. I love you too. Thank you for wanting to know my thoughts and feelings.
Clear game changer right there. That is interesting. Very interesting. I mean, I just feel like this is definitely something that will be possible in the future. Like, people will be doing this for sure. I think basically any way that you can deny pain, using technology, I'm sure people will be all over that kind of thing. So this is interesting. I don't think this particular product will be the one that's out there, but there will be other ones that will. But yeah, that's crazy, and I just found so hilarious. I needed to share with you guys. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed that. That's crazy. Anyways, today we are talking about patience, and I came up with this idea today, I guess today I've been really, today, and I want to say the last few weeks, I've been going through more of a transitional phase in terms of work, in terms of, it's like how I approach work with different clients and working in different ways. I'm basically working to develop, or I guess I would say understand more of like what my approach is for my business, because I've been doing freelance for a long time, and basically I'm at a point where it's like it would be really great to basically live off income from my business rather than having to work for someone else, or just doing like freelance gigs that aren't really associated with a company of any sort. So anyway, so that's kind of been my focus as of lately, and basically I've noticed that I'm in this phase right now where I'm noticing that like I'm doing a lot of work, and it's really great work. It's like I'm really glad that I have it, and I'm definitely not at a place where it's like work that sustains me, or like basically it's like the amount of work I'm putting in isn't the amount that I'm getting back, which is totally fine. But I'm realizing that I'm in this place where I really have to be patient and just kind of like allow this process to unfold. And basically I feel like I've definitely been in this place before, and I know exactly what this feels like. And if you're a freelancer, or you're do any type of freelance work, or even just like part-time gigs, or anything that's not like you're working for a company full-time, or like you have your own business, obviously, you probably know what this feels like. There's always, especially the freelance thing, it's like the work either comes all at once, or it doesn't come at all, and so like once you're in that wave of like all at once, like extremely busy, and then literally like right after that it's just like nothing, or it's just like very, very little suddenly. So it's like there's huge ups and downs, and so like dealing with the down parts it's difficult. It's very difficult, and especially doing freelance or owning your own business, it's something that you have to learn how to deal with, and it's very important to learn how to trust that you will find the next thing, and that next thing will come before you go totally broken or on the street. And so a big part of that is being able to be patient and trust that like the patience is going to pay off for you. I know there's a lot of situations for me where I could have, if I was impatient and I was operating off of fear, I would have basically just taken any gig or job that I could get my hands on, and that gig or job would not have paid me anywhere near what I wanted to get paid, and it probably wouldn't have been something that I really wanted to do, you know? And, you know, this is like, work isn't always something that you want to do. I will agree with that. You're not always going to love what you're doing, but I think there is like certain opportunities that are right for you, and there's other opportunities that aren't truly right for you, and you're just doing it because you're afraid, and you're not willing to like sit in that uncomfortable space for a little while. So that's kind of what I'm getting at. So I want to rewind like I want to say like a year back, more than a year ago. But anyways, it was like 2015, September, October, and I had just gone through one of these big up, down, or like basically like had a ton of work, and then I felt like the very inevitable, you know, I just knew that I didn't have much work coming up, and I was like, okay, this is happening, you know, okay. And so I was very aware that this was going to happen, and so it did. And there was about six weeks where I had no work or very little work. And, you know, for the first, like, I want to say, like, the first 4 weeks, I did a really good job of like, dealing with it. And, like, you know, I've talked about webcam journaling before, but, like, I did a ton of that. And I just meditated a lot. I just kept myself in a very, like, pure state where I was just, like, I was focused, I was positive, and I was very, like, hopeful and keeping my eyes open to any possible, like, any potential opportunity that inspired me. And so, you know, doing that for 6 weeks is it's not easy whatsoever. However, you know, after going through about 6 weeks in, I ended up making this connection, which ended up leading to like me working for a company where I ended up making more than I had ever made ever. Like 3, 4, probably like 5 times the amount that I had made per month. During my highest month that year, like I had made like 3 to 5 times that amount. It was crazy. I was like, wow, this is amazing that this is happening, you know. And so there was this. So it's basically. So I thought to myself, I'm like, man, if I wasn't patient, you know, if I wasn't really like, you know, tuned into that, like if I had just like grabbed something out of fear, like I would have never fallen into this opportunity. And that opportunity lasted over a year long, and it was like super necessary, and I learned so much from it, and it was a great experience all in all. So that was really interesting. So over time, what I've understood is that like patience is so damn necessary. It's like you want to go fast, but like the patient part is something that has to be acknowledged. And as I was thinking about this, I came up with this kind of like metaphor, just came into my mind. And because like there's definitely times to be patient, and there's times to just go for it. But there's definitely like a balance in the middle there. So basically, I like to look at it like you have your head and you have your feet, right? Your head is the part of you that is looking for opportunities. It's creative. It is inspired. It's passionate. It's looking for different trends. It's looking for opportunities. It's basically your visual space. It's your visual creative space where it's like, okay, what could I do? What are the possibilities? What is that? You know, when should I do it? It's your mental processes, obviously. Then you have your feet, and your feet are very different, right? It's like your feet are about movement. They're about focus. All right, I guess I would say. Okay, so movement, doing the work, taking action, being focused. When I think of my feet, I think of like these are the guys that like they're directed by the mind, they're directed by the head, but they're actually the ones doing the work. They're the ones like it's like if you want to walk from here to there, you got to do the work. Like it's just like your your head can like want that, you know, and want that so much, but in the end, it just comes down to like, are you walking? Because if you're not walking, you're not going to get there. So the feet are your physical processes. These are the active your action-based qualities, and then in between them, the head and the feet, you have your heart. And I think your heart is essentially what syncs up these two. So it syncs up your head, your mental processes, with your feet, your physical processes, and the heart essentially is what represents your purpose. It represents the truth. It represents your why. It represents your function. Ultimately, why is it that you're doing that? And like, what is, when I bring the head and the feet together, what is it that we are creating and why, you know? So I think the heart is like, it's in the middle. It's our connection between the two. Now, so whenever you're too focused on your head, at first I called it your eyes, but like it's your head. Whenever you're too focused on your head, what happens? Well, you'll be likely to think about all these creative ideas, have all these creative thoughts, have all these visions and this and that, and just like, yeah, maybe all these fantasies about like what you could be and where you could go, and maybe even like maybe just a bunch of like ideas of what things you could, what projects you could do, whatever that is. But if you're too much in your head, like you're not going to be going anywhere. You're just going to be basically daydreaming, and so you won't go anywhere. You won't do anything. You'll have all these creative thoughts, but nothing will actually happen. Then on the other end, if you put too much focus on your feet, you'll move places, you'll go places, but you won't have any direction. So you could like go places, but it's like, well, if there's no like thought behind it, or or intention behind where you're going, like you could be anywhere. You could end up in a desert, and what's helpful about being lost in the desert, So it's like, it's great to move, but like move with intelligence, And then and then with the heart, it's like you could be moving with intelligence, but like if you're missing the heart part, then you could just be like starting this huge corporation that has no care for humanity at all and destroys the earth. So you need the heart, because you need to understand that why. You need to understand the value you're bringing to the world and the higher purpose that you have. So I think that, so it's like there's a balance of both. And it's really interesting, because I feel like I've struggled with my creativity a lot in my life, and I think one of my biggest struggles in the beginning was being so stuck up in my head all the time, and just being like, I had all these like exciting thoughts about what I could do and who I could become, and I was inspired, and I was like, oh my god, blah blah blah, all this, oh my god. And I was so excited and inspired, and I was like, this is who I am, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But I had no feet action going on. There was no focus on my feet at all. So, and if there was focus on my feet, it was very short term. It was very like, I'm inspired right now, so let's go do this right now. Let's score as hard as we can right now. And then it would last like a week, and then it's gone, And that happened many times, and that frustrated the hell out of me. It was like, that was so difficult. It was so difficult to like constantly putting that space in that spot where you're like so inspired, but you not actually doing it, and so nothing actually happens. And that, once that happens, after a while, like you start to hate the idea of you start to hate ideas, because you're like, like why even have an idea if I can't actually do it? So basically, after I understood this, I started moving more into like the feet part, the feet aspect, and this happened through this is it's perfect for like a job, it's like sometimes like you're working a job where it's like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna keep walking forward. Like, yeah, it's like I know what they want me to do, and it's not necessarily my favorite thing to do, but I'm just gonna keep walking and be consistent with it. And so, yeah, I ran into a couple jobs where I was like, it was really just about consistency. It was really just about me moving forward. You know, no matter what, just keep going forward. Just keep every day going forward, building up that consistency. Just doing the work. And you know, that was great as well. However, it's like you just get to a point where you're just like, what am I doing? Why? This is really what I'm doing? This is really what I'm doing with my life? Like, what? Who am I? What am I doing here? You know? And so it's like that feeling was equally undesirable, you know? And so I feel like with this project, I finally got to a point where, like, it's a balance of both. It's basically I'm using my mind because I'm constantly improving and getting better and seeing like the trends, and you know, like I guess like it's like there's new technology, like the live streaming technology is relatively new, and it's just like my mind saw that and it's like, oh, let's jump on that, let's do this, you know. It's like my mind had all brainstorm on these ideas and visions, which it got to a point where like I could no longer deny that these were things that like really were important to me, and it's things that I wanted to do. I'm like, I need to do this, and so it got to a point where I was like, I just need to start walking, and so I started walking, and so that's why I started like doing this show, and so I started doing this show every day. And as I started walking, basically I'm getting to a point where I'm like, okay, so what is like the purpose? What's the function? Why am I doing this? What is the heart component of this? And so I think that's really been like with this project, it's really been like finding that balance between the head and the feet, and really moving forward. And for me, it's like I feel like I need both equally at this point. And like I think in the beginning, I know it's been very much, and I think this year, it's like they're very balanced, but like this year it's more so a little bit more focused on the feet, because it's like in order to get something going, you just gotta walk it. You gotta walk it, and carry it. And so I've been constantly repeating that this isn't about the content doesn't have to be like amazingly great. I'm not looking for like perfection. I'm not looking for a polished episode. What I'm looking for is consistency. What I'm looking for is constant evolution. What I'm looking for is expressing my creative self, you know, my creative being on a consistent basis, and really like, you know, becoming that person, becoming that thing, so that it just is like matter of fact. It's like, oh yeah, this is just like it's not even, this is second nature. This is me. I don't have to think about, you know, creating every day. I just do it already. It's like it's a part of me. So it's like building those habits. So I think once those habits are established, then it'll probably move back up to my mind and be like, okay, how can I, you know, what's inspiring? What could I do to make this show more interesting, engaging? How can I, you know, find an audience? You know, all these things, and then, you know, it'll come back down to my heart. But why? Why do we need this? How is this helping the world? What value am I bringing? You know, like, what is the higher purpose? Where do I want to go with this? What does this look like 5 years down the road? What does it look like 10 years? What does it look like 20 years? You know. Those are all, I think that those are all like these different thought forms that come out from the head, the heart, and the feet. So anyways, yeah, I thought that was, that randomly kind of, that metaphor randomly came to me. And I think it's very, you know, it's a very, it's a realistic thing, and it relates back to patience, because it's like when you're operating from your head, like, it's really great to have like all these ideas, but you have to be patient with them. You have to be patient that your creative thought will come, and that you will get inspired, and you know, because there's just periods of time where sometimes I'm just like not inspired for a while. You know, I'm just like, well, what is this? You know, even during this project, it's like I was really inspired before I started this project, which up to into actually starting this project, and like, you know, a week or two into it, and then there was like there have been times where I'm like, I don't even know what I want to do. You know, I don't even know what I want to do for a show next. You know, so or like and then there was, and then of course there's like with my feet, it's like, it's the same thing, being patient with with my feet in terms of like, okay, so I'm just moving forward here, but what is, like, it's like, where's my audience, or like is this content good enough, or this and that, like, so I'm asking all these other questions, but like, and that's basically my head saying that, but my feet are being patient with my feet. It's just like, just let yourself move. Let yourself move. Let yourself move. That's what my feet are saying. Just let me move. Let me move. Continue moving. Continue moving. Have patience with the movement. Have patience. Yeah. And so yeah. So that's like where it goes back to patience, because that's really it in the end. And it's like, patience, I think, is very much connected to the being uncomfortable. Like, I think patience, the reason why it is a virtue, the reason why it is a value, is because it's not easy to be patient. And especially in a world where it's like we're so used to getting what we want all the time right away, it's not always easy to constantly work and constantly move or constantly create and not be able to do that without getting something back. It's just like, it's like if you can be patient with the process and commit to a long-term goal, that's the key. That's where it's like, that is truly where I see it as like, we are conscious creators of our reality. We do create a reality, and like, although it's not like, I can't be like, I'm not going to be like, I want $1 million and like really focus on that, meditate on that, and get it in a week. Like, that's not going to happen. Most likely, not saying that's impossible, but most likely that's not going to happen. But if I do that and, give myself 5 years, 3 to 5 years, like, very possible. You never know. So, and that's where, you can do some cool things with your mind and with your focus. So yeah, that was basically my rant on patience being a value. But I hope you guys enjoyed that and enjoyed the Next Life technology. Let me know your thoughts on that, and yeah, have an amazing day. I will see you guys on Wednesday. Peace and love, my friends.